What's up? Welcome to Nowstalgia. Dave here, talking about Universal Music Group pulling its entire catalog off of TikTok. This is a very big deal. UMG is, of course, the largest music label in the world, home to arguably the biggest, or many of the biggest artists that we know. Of course, Taylor Swift, Drake, Ariana Grande, Olivia Rodrigo, Morgan Wallen, Nicki Minaj, Billie Eilish, Post Malone, just to name a few. This is a big deal. If you go on TikTok right now, you cannot officially add a Drake song to your TikTok. Of course, before this, and like all the other music labels do, of course, the other big two labels, Warner and Sony, still are active with TikTok. They officially license their music for use on TikTok, and all the UMG artists are now gone. And of course, this was not unforeseen. There was a lot of back and forth between UMG and TikTok, and it started to become public, which obviously was a very bad sign. There was an open letter, UMG blaming TikTok's unwillingness to compromise over AI, but I think most of us really think it's just a squabbling over money. And now, basically the nuclear option has been pulled here, where UMG pulling the catalog. This is not as catastrophic as, say, the label pulling its catalog off of, say, Spotify or Apple Music, something that actually did happen at smaller scale, like 10 years ago as music streaming was increasing. That, I think, is largely an untenable thing to do right now, but pulling your music off TikTok is a lot more complicated, right? A lot of those artists I named, all these big artists on UMG, I mean, they had their careers. They were successful before TikTok. They're not going to suddenly not be successful. Then again, Ariana Grande has an album coming out in March. It'll be interesting to see how they promote that, because they won't have TikTok's, built-in marketing and connection to your fans and the quirks of TikTok that make it so unique and so successful and so ubiquitous, right? It's undeniable. And I'm just really interested in how that's going to go, and I think obviously the music discovery aspect of TikTok, that's certainly a big deal, and that is something that applies to other artists on the label. Of course, I mentioned a lot of big A-listers, but UMG, of course, includes many labels: Interscope, Geffen, Def Jam, Capitol, Republic. There are a lot of artists on UMG, a lot of them that are successful but smaller than your Taylors and your Drakes, and even smaller artists than that who, perhaps they made their career on TikTok. The music discovery aspect and the ability to blow up overnight cannot be overstated, and a lot of artists have really relied on TikTok to grow and find an audience, and that is being taken away. These artists had no say in the matter. Their music's just off the platform. And a lot of artists have talked about it. Some making jokes and quibbles, some kind of questioning it. Others, at the Grammys, I forget who it was Jack Antonoff, saying basically that it would have been nice to hear, get some heads up from UMG before it was happening. Noah Kahan talked about it. A lot of people have chimed in already, and I'm just really curious, how long this is going to go. It's not going to be, resolved next week. That's for damn sure. This is going to be a minute. And, I think it'll tell us a lot about the success of the biggest label in music. Of course, the revenues are incredibly strong at UMG, and they feel like TikTok just needs to pay out more. It's not like TikTok's any different than your Spotify or Apple Music, where the overall common refrain here is artists aren't paid enough, right? But I don't think the label is going to necessarily be kicking down significantly more revenue down to its artists per se. They just want to line their own pockets, you have to imagine. But yeah, a lot of things to keep an eye out with this. This is going to be an ongoing story, a major music business story, and a big test of TikTok's staying power, because I think we all agree how ubiquitous TikTok is, and it's so ingrained into the mainstream music business, whether you're a little artist or the biggest artist. So what will it now mean for all of these artists across that spectrum to have their music removed and their inability to officially succeed? Also, something to keep in mind is this could escalate, right? Because the way music copyright works is there's two copyrights, right? You have your publishing as well as you're recording. So sometimes those are on different labels. So there are artists whose maybe they're not really UMG artists, but their publishing might be in part of UMG. You also have whole other aspect with songwriters, and songs have multiple songwriters, and maybe some of those songwriters are on UMG because that take the whole song down. We haven't seen all of that yet, but like there are ways this could cascade and affect many more artists, many more songs. So again, a lot to keep an eye on with this. I think it's going to be a while, but yeah, let me know what you think about this. And for more music business updates, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.